Well, we went from winter conditions in the North Pole to now we have a blue sky and sunny conditions. So the Lord is up to something. It's very dramatic here today, and that was a very dramatic journey that Father C8h made to bring the Divine Mercy to the United States. And now you know why we Marians are doing this broadcast here at the National Shrine of Divine Mercy on Eden Hill from what you saw on that clip.
Yes, as we know, the torch was passed from Jesus to St. Faustina, but then to C8h, then to Jarzembowski, and then to the rest of our Marian brothers here in the United States. So please continue to pray for us as we spread this message around the world.
And one of the Marian priests who continues to spread divine mercy in sometimes dramatic ways is Father Michael Gaitley. And I really do mean dramatic. All those clips were very powerful. And so we've asked Father Michael to tell us a little bit about that amazing production and something else exciting that he's been working on. But before we get to that, welcome to the show, Father Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Father Joe. Good to be on again.
Tell us, Father Mike, how did this production actually come about?
Sure. I had an invitation from the Augustine Institute. They wanted me to do a kind of a class on Divine Mercy, and they were going to film it and then distribute it. And so when we were having some of the talks about it, I said, well, actually, I just finished a book on Divine Mercy called The Second Greatest Story Ever Told. I said, well, we could make that into a documentary. It's got history, and it's got all these saints, and it's about Divine Mercy. How about that? And they were kind of silent. And they said, okay, well, we'll give you a call. And I didn't hear anything from them for a while, but then Pope Francis declared the Year of Mercy exactly a month after our meeting, and they contacted me. They said, all right, let's do it.
Very good.
And so,
well, that's good. And now I understand that the production was quite an undertaking, that the production team had to put in an incredible amount of time and work in hours.
Yeah, and it was the amazing thing is that they didn't have to. It was their kind of their choice, because we filmed last August for the production, and the filming went really well. And then the film crew was so excited about it. They asked their boss, Tim Gray, who was on earlier. They said, "Hey, can we put everything into this production?" And he said, "Yeah." He gave him the green light. And so in the post-production, all the work that goes on after the original filming, where you put in the images and all that, there was a team of 10 people working 80-hour weeks for 5 months, and they just poured themselves into the production, and it just came out beautifully. It was a real labor of love. There was a lot of grace involved. I think there was 2 people who were working on it, weren't even Catholic, and after the filming, they were saying, we're interested in starting RCIA, and I think they just gave him the church last Easter. So it was just, the Lord really blessed it. It was really powerful.
Incredible. And so there's already bearing good fruits, this production. Now, Father Mike, I know this isn't your first film production, that you've also produced a whole series of videos based on the small group programs from your other books. I'm sure many of our viewers have gone through some of those programs, so how does this production relate to them?
Sure. Those other programs are called Hearts of Fire, parish-based programs, and the idea is, like you said, they're designed for small groups. Now, this documentary, it could be done in small groups because I wrote a study guide for it, and so they can do that in that way, but it's also something that can just be watched on its own, just individually can be enjoyed. But the other thing about those Hearts of Fire programs is a very specific order. You start with the 33 Days to Morning Glory group program, then you go to Consoling the Heart of Jesus, then you do Wisdom and Works of Mercy, so there's a structure. This one you can watch basically at any time because it provides the context and the background for the whole Hearts of Fire program. So it can either be a small group or individually, and it can be watched at any time.
It's amazing. In fact, if you want, you can order the program by calling the number on our screen. But now, Father Mike, you also have an exciting announcement for those people who've been doing and going through your programs. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, in previous episodes or years that we've done this broadcast, we've talked about the organization called the Marian Missionaries of Divine Mercy, which is for young men who wanted to give a year to do the works of mercy. They have a house, not far from here. Well, what we decided to do this year is to open up the Marian Missionaries of Divine Mercy to everyone who completes the whole Hearts of Fire program. So in other words, if you've gone through all of those programs, 33 Days to Morning Glory, Consoling the Heart of Jesus, Wisdom and Works of Mercy, you're qualified to become an actual Marian Missionary of Divine Mercy. So if any of our viewers have gone through any part of those programs, like maybe they just did 33 Days to Morning Glory as a group, we have a handbook for the Marian missionaries that will tell them more about it that they can get for free if they go to the website. There's an EWTN website through the Marians today, and they can get the free handbook, and it tells them more about it, and it's really an awesome thing. People are really excited about it because it's really a lay spirituality for people who want to spread divine mercy and really give themselves to divine mercy. And it's not just something you sign up for. You really have to be formed. You have to go through the whole formation program. But once you do, it's a very special organization to belong to.